You know what, Mr. Yen? I'm tired of you bullying me. Every time I take a trade, you just beat the crap out of me, so I'm sick of it. Today, things are changing. I'm putting my foot down, and I'm gonna win this trade.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed that little silly intro, but not so silly is the fact that the yen is actually kind of spanking me right now. It's not cool. But anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the trades that I've been recently taking, and then also share with you a trade that I am looking at right now, which truthfully is not going well so far, but we're going to take a look at some things. So let's go look at some first, what we recently were entered into. So I recently took a trade on the CAD yen. I went long on this candle, and truthfully, this is a setup that I would take again and again. Like, I don't actually think that, my trading here was terrible, but we are going to analyze a loser real quick, and then we'll talk about a pair that I'm looking at. So again, big support level broke out here recently. So we had a big resistance level, right? So sellers were very strong here. We had a strong rally off of oil prices making a strong move higher, which again impacts the Canadian dollar usually in a positive way to their due to their high exposure to the oil markets that their currency is based around, right? Their economy is heavily based around oil. So anyways, we had CAD yen make a breakout here, and the moral of the story here is we're gonna look at a couple of yen pairs that are kind of beating me up right now. But anyways, price basically rallied and pulled back, and I decided, okay, I'm looking for trend continuation here. I like the idea of buying this pullback, and we actually had a nice fib retracement here. So you can kind of see my fib that I've already got. That's how I drew it. So from the swing low to the swing high, you can see that 50% came into play. I bought it, put my stops below structure, and sure enough, got stopped out. Then I decided I would take one more attempt at trying to buy this thing on a dip, and sure enough, yet again, we had a breakdown and sold off here lower. So the idea here being I took two different trades and both of them resulted in a loss. Now, granted, the thing about taking a loss with me is I don't take huge losses. I don't like massively over leverage my account, and I don't put my stop loss really far away. I usually put tight stops in my trade so that if I do lose, it's small losses. So I lost a couple $100 here. I lost a couple $100 here, and really it's not the end of the world. Now, I should say that the yen strength here does kind of make sense in terms of the Russia-Ukraine situation. But so does kind of the idea of buying the Canadian dollar in my book. They're overall pretty hawkish. They also have a large exposure to oil, and with commodity markets making a move higher, here's US oil, right? Strength here, just not enough to overcome this yen weakness for the time being. However, I am still anticipating a turn on the yen at some point or another. Here's the yen, by the way, moving higher here today. I do kind of expect this downtrend to continue, so I've been looking for some opportunities to try and short the yen and buy alternative currencies like USD and CAD. Speaking of which, let's expose myself a little bit more here. Here's dollar yen. I'm currently long on this trade. And again, another straightforward trade setup. A lot of my trades look very, very similar. Sometimes they work excellent and it makes me look like a hero. And other times I'm going to put a video out like this and I know I'll get comments that are, people saying, you're a silly trader for doing this and that. But this is my strategy, and I trade my strategy, which I have tested for a long time and have been incorporating in my style approach for quite some time. So I'm confident with it. It's just sometimes you enter losing streaks. So I've been getting beat up a little bit here on the yen, so price pulling back here, and you can actually see I took an L on this trade as well. So I tried buying here at the 38.2, got stopped out on this red candle, and actually decided to enter again at the 61.8, which lined up with support. So this is my recent trade. I'm currently down $200, so we'll see if this one can find a bottom here. It does seem like we're trying. So by the time you see this video, I may have already stopped out, but let's talk about forward thinking. Even if I do stop out, where's the dollar yen going? Well, in my book, overall, I do still expect, even though we have a negative trade sitting on the board, I still expect the dollar yen overall to try and find a bottom somewhere near here to continue the upward trajectory of this overall trend. Couple levels you can see on the screen. I've got my targets at 115.42, 115.81, and 116.20. This is the previous high, of course. So a couple different concepts here. Longer term, as dollar strength continues to rally, the dollar yen is actually pulling back because the yen is kind of overpowering it today. But overall, we have a nice upward trend, and I've been looking for a potential opportunity to consider jumping in. You can see on the daily chart a move back down to this 50 SMA. I like this idea of trying to find a bottom here. You can see this level has been respected by bulls substantially recently. So I'm looking to try and catch that bottom. Is it a guarantee that's going to happen? No. And this is why my stop loss is small. And even if I do take a loss of, I think this is $400 risk, that's not going to kill me, right? It's a small trade relative to the account side. So that's the concept. So buying at the 61.8% retracement, in hindsight, maybe it'll make me look silly, but of course, trading is not done on the left side, it's done on the right side, right? We don't know what's going to happen next with guarantees. We can only, use probability-based decision making. So the reason I show this is, number one, a lot of times on social media, you only ever see people highlighting their wins. It's kind of like Instagram, when you see people just highlighting their best moments all the time. They show their new car, they show their new job, but they don't show when things are going bad at home or they have a lost one in the family, right? There's things that happen in life that people don't show on Instagram. It's the same in the trading world. People only show their highlight reel of their trading career. But I try not to do that because I know that it's more beneficial to really just talk through something like this, like a losing streak for me, which again, we had a great winning streak overall and or in the last couple weeks, and it kind of came to a close here with this recent trading, which is okay, right? It's part of the process. Trading success doesn't look like this. It looks like this, right? So when we enter into a losing streak, really, if your strategy is good and your risk management will keep you in the game, the idea is you're only, trades away from the next winning streak, which should bring you out of a drawdown. So, that's kind of my thought process. So anyways, my thought on dollar yen and my thought on the yen in general is that as the yen strengthens here, for me, it's looking more and more like a sell. The dollar was really strong today on strong jobs numbers. Here's DXY. I do expect that if the dollar does, pull back, there may be some opportunities to potentially re-entering some ideas, maybe like dollar yen on a discount. So even if I do get stopped out on dollar yen, my thought process on this is that I may still get another chance to try again. If this level breaks, if we stop out, my next spot of interest is probably a move down to 114.6, which is this huge highlight zone where we found really strong buyers historically. So until this trend is done, I am still looking for long setups. And if I do get stopped out, my process is not going to be, oh man, this just means, it's the end of the trend and everything is doom and gloom. No, it's actually, for me, this is just an attempt, right? So when I take a trade, I take small losses for a reason. They are attempts at trying to catch a nice move. And every once in a while, for example, if we actually look historically on some of my positions, dollar yen, I caught a trade, for example, over here where I took, let me see if I can scroll out here. So for example, right, I caught this trade, 57,000 units, and I rode this thing all the way up to where I closed that trade right around here. So that kind of move is the stuff that I'm looking for. And sometimes, like you can see here, I actually had to try to get into this more than once. So I bought here, closed out for a very small profit. So I missed, I didn't take any profits here. So my idea is sometimes I have to take more than one attempt. So I tried here, you can see I tried here, closed out here, I bought here, closed out here, bought here, and finally caught the runner here. So sometimes I'll have a theory and it might take me some time for that theory to play out. So even in the short term, if I take some losses, the idea is I'm just looking for the winner around the corner to let a winner run and really capture some profit. So here's a 1 hour view of this idea that I have on dollar yen, 61.8% retracement. That's where I bought in. You can see now breaking that zone. So I really don't want to see this thing break much lower than this. If it does, like I said, I will stop out. And if it continues lower, then perhaps I can look to retry one more time at that 114.6 level. Perhaps that comes into play next week. You may ask, well, what about this level? The reason I'm not super interested is because I really don't want to see price come all the way back down to this point, because if that does happen, then I think that most likely we are probably going to go retest some higher time frame support, like that level at 114.6. But fundamentally, I do like the dollar yen long. I think that it's very reasonable to see a potential return to the highs this year, 116.20. It may take some time and there may be some trial and error, right? Throwing darts at trades. That's how I approach my trades, right? I take small little attempts at trying to pick up a big winner. That's really, in the nutshell, what I do is I buy into markets that are trending higher. I look for big runners. I stop out quickly if I'm wrong. And if I'm right, I try and let them win and pay back all the losses. That's what I've been doing for several years here now and don't plan to stop anytime soon. But the point is, talking about these losses is important, right? I got beat up on CAD yen, but again, this is why we use stop losses. Take a look at what happened here. I bought in 50%. Had I just, bought and added into this trade and with no stop loss, this would have been a nightmare, right? I would have just been sitting in a really big loser. But instead, I took very small calculated losses, and that's half the battle. Of course, you can always focus on, oh, you just need to capture huge wins in order to be a profitable trader, but more important than the huge wins is really keeping your losses very, very controlled. So I'm going through a couple losses here. It's no huge deal or anything like that. I am literally just taking small stabs at trying to catch this yen reversal. If I'm right, I should let a winner run, and I think that it's potentially around the corner. But if I'm wrong, I will still just take small losses and not, put myself in jeopardy or anything like that. So if anything, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.